Good evening to everybody. I want to thank everybody who was able to attend. We can all sympathize with your rushing through traffic to make it here on time. Also, please give a round of applause to the Political Science Club for making this commencement ceremony possible. A few days ago, I read a post that a friend of mine had written on Facebook. He wrote a long paragraph describing his state of depression and his miserable life. My friend is 33 years old. He wrote that he imagined himself being married, having kids, a career, and maybe even a nice house. He never imagined having the life he has now. The point is, he was very unhappy and he felt himself being swallowed whole by an unforgiving destiny. But after thinking about it for a few minutes, I realized something. I don't know if any of you remember what you wanted to be when you were younger. No, not when you were a teenager. When you were just a child without any responsibilities. When I was 7 years old, I wanted to play professional baseball and also be like my father. Perhaps you wanted to be a police officer or a superhero. Still, some probably wanted to be doctors, lawyers, or even like that friendly ice cream man that showed up in front of your house with that so familiar melody. But what about when you were even younger? Why did we even start asking ourselves what we wanted to be? I imagine that for a child who first hears that question, they normally want one thing: joy, comfort, and love. Then one day, someone asked us what we wanted to be, and of course, like any child, we either didn't know and ran off, or smiled and yelled out the first thing that came to our minds: Batman! Being a child is incredible. It truly is. We lived in the moment. Tomorrow did not matter because right now was time to play and have fun. There were no bills, no rules, no big consequences. Now we go through college, learn about theories of empire, dependency theory, never-ending penumbras, capitalism, peak oil, global climate disruption, revolving doors, and finally we graduate college, scratching our heads and wondering where to start, how to fix it, or whether we should even bother trying. The year is 2012 and California unemployment rates are at 11%. Who knows what will happen in Europe and to what degree that will impact our economy. We are headed toward the most important presidential election of the decade. Education is getting cut, and of course, time is running out. Could I have picked a better year to graduate? But do not be fooled. There is still so much more to do. Political science has taught me, for example, to take two complicated things, unravel them, and write a theory to explain why certain things are the way they are. History taught me that humans have made some mistakes, and then made some more, and now we're experimenting with something new, and while we all hope it works, we know what happened last time we tried something similar. Psychology taught me that nothing is certain, and we all are in one way a reflection of ourselves. Philosophy taught me that the only thing I know for certain is that I exist. And the only reason I know that is because I was told I have free will. I was a music major at first, and the most important thing I learned was how to listen. For those of you involved in student organizations or clubs, you probably learned that communication is probably the most important tool we have. If you're a parent and you're here now, whether you're part of the audience or a 2012 graduate, you learned that love is beautiful, especially when times are hard. If you're a son or a daughter, or a brother or a sister, or a friend or significant other, you learned that not everyone thinks the way you do, and sometimes it is better to be kind than right. This long college experience taught us that in the end we all want one thing: fulfillment. Which brings me to my last few words. Whatever your age, we all still have so much more time. There is so much left to do. 2012 will pass. New problems will arise. Doors will open for us. People will come and go, and others will stay. And yet, at the end of the day, we will still be ourselves. The college experience, and I mean the full college experience, teaches you that to fix a big problem, you have to understand and take care of the little ones first. This is also true for ourselves. We have to understand and take care of ourselves before we can understand and take care of each other. This is what I realized when I read that Facebook post. I refuse to believe we will wake up one morning, 10 years from now, and regret where our lives have led us. For some of us, graduate or law school awaits. For others, this is our beginning. Of the millions graduating from colleges and universities, we are one of the few who understand where our world is headed. Do not be disillusioned by the lack of awareness our world has on global epidemic changes to come. We are the few that knows what needs to be done in order to change it. Remember your college experience. Remember that you did pull off writing that 20 or 30-page research paper.
Some are still working.
Remember that you did manage to work full-time and pass all your classes with a C or better. Remember that you still make time for your family and friends, even when you knew you might regret it about 2 hours before your exams. Remember that success in college required much sacrifice. Do not forget that. Do not forget how to be as ambitious and dedicated as we were completing our first degree. That will be the same force to drive us to be successful and to feel fulfilled. With that said, I urge us to use ambition, courage, and righteousness as our instrument, and love and fulfillment as our means to realize our objectives. Let us land with our legs still running and take this decade for a good spin. The world is ours. Congratulations, Class of 2012.
Thank you.